Hey everyone, welcome back to the podcast. I'm Nika, your English teacher, and in today's episode, we are going to discuss the topic of fall bucket list. Just in case if you don't know, a bucket list is the list of activities you want to do or complete in your life, let's say, or maybe during a particular year or in a specific season. In our case, we are talking about the fall. Honestly, I can't believe that I'm recording this episode because I started this podcast 3 months ago at the beginning of summer, and my first episode was called Summer Bucket List. And I remember how worried and stressed I was. But thanks to you guys, to your support and your kind messages, I was able to keep going and keep recording this podcast every single week. And it was one of the activities on my summer bucket list. So thank you so much, guys, one more time for staying with me and helping me complete this bucket list activity. You know, it's very funny that while I'm recording this episode, it's sunny outside with pleasant plus 25-degree temperature. And yeah, it's amazing to still be able to enjoy these warm days. And I'm keeping my fingers crossed that this weather will last at least until my birthday, which will be on the 15th of September. However, it's a bit challenging for me to concentrate on cozy indoor activities typically associated with late autumn, you know, the one that is full of rain, colorful leaves, puddles, warm sweaters, hot drinks, and so on. But nevertheless, I will try to do it. The first activity I want to do is to try horse riding. Horses are very strong, powerful, and gorgeous animals, but I'd like to share a funny story connected to horses. So, when I was a child, I used to dream of having a horse, and my grandparents had their own house with a huge property, you know, like area around the house. And I always believed that they would buy a horse, keep it in their barn next to the house, and I would come to visit them every week to ride this horse. And my whole family knew about this desire, and once for my 6th birthday, instead of a real horse, I got a book about horses. And you can't imagine how disappointed I was. I was crying my eyes out. And after that situation, I crossed out that dream completely. And I forgot about horses for many, many years. You know, it was like my childhood trauma. But some time ago, I saw reels on Instagram of a girl who was riding a horse, and it helped me recall my dreams. So now I'm constantly thinking about it and imagining this experience, and I really hope that this fall I will be able to ride a horse. The second activity is to visit a pumpkin patch or a pumpkin farm in Gdańsk. We visited this place 2 years ago and it was the end of October, but the wind was super cold and strong, yeah, as always in Gdańsk. So we didn't spend enough time there. However, I remember that this place left a strong impression on me. You know, there were piles and mountains of pumpkins of different colors, sizes, and shapes, and people could take photos with them, buy them, and taste different pumpkin dishes. And I felt a little bit like in the United States because I had only seen such places in movies before. Some people, for example, roasted marshmallows on fire. Others took pictures in the field with dry corn leaves. And it was amazing. But this year, I'm planning to visit this place a bit earlier when the weather is still rather warm, so I can spend more time there and fully enjoy this pumpkin paradise. My next activity is going to be connected to buying new clothes. I already know that I need to purchase new shoes and coats because I've been wearing mine for a couple of years and I'm a bit tired of them and I would like to change them. But I have to admit that I'm so bad at shopping. Usually when I go to a store, I get lost. I have no idea what I should buy, and sometimes I end up purchasing things that I can't later combine with anything from my current wardrobe. That's why I think I will use the service of a stylist. I've tried it a couple of times for different seasons and I was really satisfied with the results. So this is how it worked. I had to take pictures of all my clothes for that particular season, and then the stylist helped me match them. And I was impressed by, the unusual combinations of clothes and also by the number of outfits I could create from my existing clothes. And also, she gave me recommendations on what I should buy and add, and even sent me links from mass market stores. So I would say that this experience helped me save money and time, and I would love to repeat it this fall as well. Most probably, you already know that I love trying something new, and this fall, I'd like to take vocal classes. You may think, oh my gosh, it's so mainstream now, everyone does that, everyone goes to vocal classes, but in my case, the situation is a bit different. So I sang for 11 years in a vocal studio during my entire childhood, and I participated in various vocal competitions and concerts. And when I finished school, I stopped singing at all, and now I'm afraid of singing even when I'm with my friends. I can only do it when I'm alone or in the car with my husband. So I want to get rid of this fear. I want to overcome this fear, and I want to hear again my voice through microphone, because singing was significant part of my life and I'd love to reintroduce it as a hobby. In addition to singing, I'd like to resume guitar classes. I used to play the guitar regularly a year ago, but then I took a short break. And this break turned into a long break, and it became challenging for me to pick up the guitar again. So right after I finish recording this podcast, I will send a message to my teacher and arrange the classes with her. And most likely this fall you will see my new reels where I'm playing the guitar. Yeah, I keep fingers crossed for that. I think that during the autumn season, a lot of us naturally return to the habit of studying, which we developed during our school years. And I even noticed this in the activity on my blog. So during summer, it was challenging to persuade people to attend classes or speaking clubs. However, since the beginning of September, many people have started reaching out to me asking about courses and ways to improve their English. In case if you're also interested in taking your English to the next level, I invite you to join my courses. They are set to begin on the 11th of September, and they will run for 3 months until mid-December. And I promise that this period will be highly productive for you. You will have the opportunity to enhance various aspects of the language, including grammar, vocabulary, speaking skills, reading and listening comprehension, as well as writing skills. And you will also engage in plenty of speaking practice, interactive homework, various chat activities and challenges with other course members. And you will definitely have a lot of fun while learning the language. So if you would like to learn more about the course format, please follow the link provided in the podcast description. I personally want to get better at Polish, so I will keep going to classes 2 times a week. And I'm also considering attending speaking clubs to gain more practice in conversation. I think fall is an ideal season for spending time indoors, for example, at home. And my friends and I have already decided that in addition to just organizing movie evenings with herbal tea and lots of sweets, we would like to arrange our own art activities, for example, painting session or candle making. And speaking of candle making, we are planning to watch various videos on YouTube. Then we will order required ingredients, and then we will try making our own candles. I'm not sure whether it's going to be successful or not because none of us has ever tried making candles before, but definitely we will at least have fun spending time together. Regarding painting, we were also thinking about buying painting canvases, paint brushes, and paints. Maybe we will find YouTube tutorials that explain how to create easy pictures, and yeah, we will give it a try. I'm personally not super good at painting, but I think it will be fun. At least doing it with friends, yeah, is definitely fun. And if you also are not super great at painting and it's still a challenge for you, in this case, I recommend trying painting by numbers. It's also one of the most relaxing activities. You can sit at home, sip hot chocolate, color by numbers, and take your time without rushing anywhere. This fall, I'm really looking forward to celebrating Halloween. You know, each year I watch many different videos on YouTube showcasing how people in the US and Canada go all out to celebrate this holiday. And then I discuss various Halloween traditions with my students. And I think this year it's time to organize my own party to decorate home a bit. I don't know, gather friends, cook some creepy and funny dishes, mix up some punch and play funny games or watch horror movies together. I believe it's gonna be fun. Talking about the point number 8 on my bucket list, I've named it Improve Public Speaking Skills. You know, recently I discovered an activity here in Gdańsk and it's called Toastmasters. And when you participate in Toastmasters, you can either be a presenter or an evaluator. If you choose to be a presenter, then you need to select a topic, you need to prepare a presentation, and deliver a 10-minute speech. On the other hand, if you choose to be an evaluator, then your role is to attentively listen to presentations and at the end of those presentations, provide feedback on what could be improved next time. I had the opportunity to be a presenter once this summer, and I must admit that it was a very stressful experience for me to stand in front of unknown people and talk to them and keep their attention for 10 minutes. In the end, of course, I was rather satisfied with my presentation. I received many positive comments and good feedback. However, I would like to practice, I would like to improve and enhance my public speaking skills. So I hope that I will be able to attend this activity in the fall at least every other week. The next activity you can find in my bucket list is visiting a cosmetologist every month. You know, my skin is quite sensitive to cold winds and weather changes, and it tends to get rather dry, especially during the fall and winter season. So I believe that regular visits to a cosmetologist will help improve the situation. So guys, those were all the activities I wanted to share with you today. I hope that after listening to this podcast, you will open your notes on your phone or maybe take a notebook and a pen and will also write down the list of things you would like to accomplish this fall. Just remember that bucket list is merely a plan and a guide for what can be done, but you don't need to feel down or feel stressed and anxious if you don't complete everything from this list, because sometimes spontaneous decisions can be much more fun. Thank you so much, guys, for listening today. Please don't forget to subscribe if you want to be notified about new episodes. And of course, follow me on Instagram where I share more about my life. Keep in touch and see you next week. Bye bye.